Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us this evening on February 28th, 2023 for the regular village board meeting for the village of Shorewood. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lana, roll call, please.
Mayor DeBold.
Here.
Trustees Brockman.
Here.
Carroll.
Here.
Chapman. Kirkland.
Here.
Luciano.
Here.
And Selfridge.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum to move on for our order of businesses for the evening. Are there any citizens wishing to address the village board? Seeing none, we will move into this evening's consent agenda. Item number 1 will be approval of the regular meeting minutes from February 14th, 2023. Approval of the special meeting minutes from February 15th, 2023. Item 3 will be approval of accounts payable in the amount of $154,524.27. Number 4 will be approval of a payment in the amount of $13,275 to Revise for the website, and approval of the resolution from the Village of Shorewood, Will County, Illinois, honoring police officer Jason Kima. Are any consent item agendas that anybody has any questions or concerns with?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Carroll. Roll call, please.
Carroll.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
And Brockman.
Yes.
All right, consent agenda is approved. For this evening, we have reports of communications. With that, I want to take an opportunity to introduce everybody to our elected official from the Will County Board, Joe Van Dyne. Mr. Van Dyne, feel free to grab the mic, introduce yourself to everybody, and say hello.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening to the village trustees and everyone in attendance this evening. My name is Joe Van Dyne, and I just was elected to the second term of Will County Board. About half of Shorewood resides in the district that I represent. I represent Shorewood, southern part of Shorewood, Shanahan, Rockdale, used to be Elwood, Wilmington. Wilmington is where I'm from, and all the way down to Custer Park. So Chief Arnold, your wonderful chief, and I got to spend some time down in Wilmington. He was the chief of police while I was an alderman, and him and I go way back, and he had wanted to know if I wanted to come by and say hello. I did not realize that he was going to stand me up this evening. I've also had the opportunity to work with your village clerk, Lana Jakaitis, at the county. It was a great couple of years spending time with you there.
You too.
And recently I've, I've gotten to know Mr. DeBold, and I look forward to working with him and you folks in the future. Like I said, I've spent the last 4 years as your county board member, and I just got elected to another 4. So with that being said, I just wanted to come and say hello, put a name with a face, and if you folks have anything that you need from the county, please feel free to reach out, and I would be more than happy to try to help. So thank you so much.
I got your number. I'm not shy of calling. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lana, were there any other reports of communications that we had received?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, with that, we'll move into this evening's order of business. First item up for our order of business this evening is to go to an executive session to discuss collective negotiation matters between the village and its employees. I need a motion to go into exec.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Luciano. We will go into executive session. We're going to go to the large conference room.
Let's have a roll call, please.
I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Lana, roll call for the exec.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
And Carroll.
Yes.
All right, we're in exec now. I apologize. All right, with that, we move into order of business item number 1. Be consideration for approval of an ordinance adopting a collective bargaining agreement between the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150, Public Employees Division, and the Village of Shorewood. This item's up for a first read. Again, this is obviously the negotiation between the labor union that represents the public works employees, and I'm glad it said overall, I believe we got a fair agreement between the union and the village. So if there's no other questions, take a motion to approve and waive the second read if available.
Move to approve an ordinance adopting a collective bargaining agreement between the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150, Public Employees Division, and the Village of Shorewood, and waive the second read.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Carroll. Roll call, please.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
All right, item number 1's been approved. Move into business item number 2 will be a consideration for approval of an updated fuel pump policy. Ms. Burkholder.
Thank you.
They changed seats. I was like,
The fuel pump policy you see before you is an update to reflect the moving of our fuel tanks from Cottage Street out to the Mound Road facility, and takes note of the change in software and how the reports are run. There are no changes to anybody's level of authority or reporting requirements, or that they have to review the policy. Sharon Rose down at Public Works and Bill McCluskey in IT were instrumental in helping put this together and keep us compliant with our policy.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Burkholder on the updated policy?
Make a motion for approval of an updated pump policy.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Kirkland,
yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
and Selfridge.
Yes.
All right, item number 2 has been approved. Item number 3, be consideration of approval of the consideration for approval of a purchase in the amount of $13,700 for a 24-foot people mover from Easy Trail. And Public Works Director Noriega is going to explain.
Thank you, Mayor. So over at Public Works, we've been asked to look into opportunities for a second hay rack. Staff initially had thought that we might be able to buy the materials and build it ourselves. When costs were starting to push the $10,000 mark plus labor, staff started looking around to see what the second hay rack would cost from a private vendor. So we found one from Easy Trails totaling $13,700. Staff did visit the site down in Arthur, Illinois, viewed the item and recommend that we purchase it. Staff also looked into other vendors, Boyle wagons, things that are also somewhat local. But unfortunately, everything has gone up in price and are now starting to, even those other vendors are starting to push the $15,000 mark for very comparable products. So we are requesting the village board approve the purchase and payment of an Easy Trail people mover totaling $13,700. Any questions?
That company, Easy, is a good company. I know them pretty well. I just can't figure from the picture, is that affixed to the trailer?
I believe so. I didn't go look at it. Staff did. I'm going to say yes.
Hopefully that's sturdy enough to hold people.
It looks like it's
Yeah.
bolted down because I can blow up the picture here, Steve.
It's
Okay.
not something that we have to,
Bolted
put in
down to
front.
the,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right.
Folds into place.
But that's a good company. I just wanted to pass that along. So it looks like you got a good one there.
Is this something we could use for like some of our events when parking is such a problem? We can actually move people that are parked quite a ways away over to,
Like a shuttle.
right.
I'm open.
Good idea.
Disney World.
Good idea.
Just thinking.
Tram.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, because could it be pulled by a pickup truck and a tractor, like
Yes.
any different?
Yeah,
Okay.
it can be pulled by a variety, yeah.
Yeah. I'll make a motion for approval, the purchase in the amount of $13,700 for an 8-foot, 6-inch by 24-foot people mover from Easy Trail Incorporated.
Second.
Motion Selfridge, second Luciano. Roll call, please.
Carol,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Selfridge,
Yes.
and Brockman.
Yes.
Item number 3 is approved. Item number 4 will be consideration for approval of a bid award and contracted deconstruction for the Amman Dodge Water Main Replacement Project in the amount of $578,018 and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents. I'll turn this over to Noriel, and, this is the water main project that we got a grant on, so, but I'll turn this over to Noriel to cover the details.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is our first water main project as part of kind of what I consider our alternative source water program. Amman Dodge is one of the water mains that has been constructed since the 1970s. We have significant amount of water main breaks along that line. When staff had been working on the most recent one, which is about 6 months ago at that location, the pipe is pretty brittle. So the project includes upsizing of the 6-inch main to an 8-inch. It'll also include new hydrants and valves. The bid was there was a lot of interested parties for the bid. So we had 11 bidders with deconstruction with the low bid of $578,018, which is approximately 25% below the engineer's estimate. Just as Mayor DeBold had indicated, that we are receiving Department of Commerce Economic Opportunity Build Illinois funds for this project. So we anticipate construction to begin at the end of March once all the contracts are executed, and then substantial completion August of 2023. Staff is recommending the village board accept the bid proposal and award the contract to deconstruction for our Amman Dodge water main replacement project in the amount of $578,018 and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions on the water main replacement?
So the grant's covering the entire cost. Okay.
Correct.
Is it a requirement that we have to accept the lowest bid on this? Is it like, I know when we did 52 in River, that it was funded by the state, so that we had to use deconstruction, but
I would defer for legal on that one, but I believe that's correct.
Yeah, there's always a requirement attached to the state funds that you do a bid process.
so it's always you have to accept the lowest.
Yeah, lowest responsible bidder.
I make a motion to approve a bid award and contracted deconstruction for the Amman Dodge Water Main Replacement Project in the amount of $578,018 and authorize execution of the contract consistent with the bid documents.
I'll second.
Motion Kirkland, second Selfridge. Roll call, please.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
and Carol.
Yes.
Item number 4 is approved. Item number 5 will be consideration for approval of a proposal for professional engineering services with Christopher Burke for Phase 3 construction services for the Amman Dodge Water Main Replacement Project, not to exceed $104,481. And again, back to Public Works Director Noriega.
Thank you, Mayor. So now this is for our construction services with Christopher Burke to help oversee the day-to-day construction operations and ensure that deconstruction is building it to our standards. If I could, C-Bell continues to be, the village engineer has a lot of historical knowledge of our system itself. They continue to use their 2016 rates due to our long history with and loyalty with the Christopher Burke. Their proposal is a not-to-exceed amount. So if the project excels and there is a significant reduced amount of hours, they will not bill us for those hours. Okay, so they also continue to be an integral part of our alternative source water program for all of the projects for water related as we move toward obtaining Lake Michigan water and for our residents here. We are recommending approval of the proposal for professional services with Seabell for Phase 3 construction services for the Almond Dodge Water Main Replacement Project in the amount not to exceed $104,481. Any questions?
Is this covered by the grant that was mentioned in the previous item?
That is covered as well, yes.
Any additional questions?
I'll make a motion for approval of a proposal for professional engineering services with Christopher Burke Engineering for Phase 3 construction services for the Amadage Water Main Replacement Project in the amount not to exceed $104,481.
Second.
Motion Luciano, second Kirkland. Roll call, please.
Luciano,
Yes.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
and Kirkland.
Yes.
All right, item number 5 has been approved. Item number 6, consideration for approval of resolution adopting a non-union employee pay plan. This one's a little more of a housekeeping issue, and the Administrator Klima will touch up on that.
So this is the same process that you guys have seen for several years. The village administrator is required to present a pay plan. It's not an individualized pay plan. It's by ordinance and says that we will have minimum and maximum pay rates for every job classification in the village. So what you see is the stuff for the non-bargaining unit positions. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
We went through this like 3, 4 years ago, and there was some tweaking that had to be done. Are we in good shape
We are
now?
in much better shape than we've ever been, yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, just making the annual adjustment, so we're not caught off guard.
Is everybody at least the minimum? There's no one under the minimum
There
salary?
is no one under the minimum, and like I said, I think we talked about it on the phone, several of you. Everyone is, the pay scales themselves, Ann and I can attest that the vast majority, we have good empirical data that we were able to come up with good marketable compensation ranges for almost every position. The two that were difficult were building inspector and parks and rec because of the lack of data, but we believe that they're good. And then everybody else is commensurate in their ranges, mostly about where they fall over a 20-year career span. There are a few anomalies and there are reasons for those, but they're not really, shouldn't be discussed here, so.
I move to approve a resolution adopting a non-union employee pay plan.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Luciano. Roll call, please.
Selfridge,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
and Luciano.
Yes.
Item number 6 been approved. Item number 7 to be consideration for approval of resolution authorizing transfer agreement for the transfer and assignment of certain easement, right-of-way, and sewer line pursuant to an intergovernmental agreement. So this item is a document that was very well very well discussed between the legal department, the administrator. Everybody should have seen the map that basically shows this was a sewer line that we had easement through the city of Joliet. Obviously on that property right now, there's a development going on. This allows the rerouting of the existing sewer line. There's a secondary line that helps maintain all of the flow that we have already agreed to within the original IGA, and we maintain easement for any future expansion as so needed, and with negotiation abilities within the city of Joliet. So this really just modifies everything. We keep all the flows, we keep an easement, and just basically allows it to be rerouted a little bit so they can move forward with that development. But I don't know if the attorney wants to chime in or
Yeah, we had an agreement, we've had several agreements with Joliet over the years. As you're aware, the village made a decision back in the late 80s, early 90s not to be in the sewer business, so we've contracted with Joliet for that. The most recent agreement was 2011, and in that agreement, we agreed when the property over there developed that we would vacate the easements as necessary and they could move the sewer as necessary. So what came up in the meantime then is rather than all the flows going through the one sewer, they're going to be going through two. Really important to notice is they're giving us an easement. The Cullinan Properties will give us an easement to be able to actually reach the Joliet Interceptor if we're able to negotiate successfully with Joliet for additional capacity. Without that easement, we would have to not only run a parallel line, that the new pattern that laser sewer goes, but we would also then have to obtain easements along the eastern portion of that property, running all the way from this existing sewer down to almost I-80. So that's a pretty good benefit if we do end up buying more capacity.
So everybody that was involved, Dave saw, I don't know how many different drafts, but Noriel's reviewed it. Burke's been very intimate with our sewer discussions. The administrator's had eyes on it, so everybody felt that we were able to, it's a fair deal. We maintain the existing agreement, and we maintain easement. So overall, fair deal. So just need a motion to approve and approve the agreement.
Move to approve a resolution authorizing transfer agreement for the transfer and assignment of a certain easement, right-of-way, and sewer line pursuant to an intergovernmental agreement. I almost made it.
Second.
Motion Kirkland, second Luciano. Roll call, please.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
and Selfridge.
Yes.
All right, item number 7's been approved. With that, I do ask to move into executive session for personnel to consider the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees.
So moved.
Motion by Selfridge, seconded by Kirkland. Roll call on that one, please, Lana.
Carroll,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Luciano, Selfridge.
Yes.
And Brockman.
Yes.
All right, we are in executive session. Board's back in regular session. With that, we will move into our trustee comments for the evening. With that, trustee Brockman.
Thank you, Mayor. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have a meeting on planning and zoning tomorrow night, and we just learned within the last couple hours that we do not have a quorum. So that meeting will have to be moved, I guess, until April.
We're hoping to be able to have a special meeting on March 22nd. So
Oh.
we'll poll the planning commission to see if they can make it, and we'll announce that shortly.
Okay, well,
Public hearing notice, too.
Right,
Yes, that's why we were
That's-
aiming that far out.
That
Time
gives you
to-
enough time?
yeah, that's time to the
Okay.
date.
Are you gonna put some notice on the website or something?
Yep.
And get it out?
We
Because
just, she
At
was,
the Citizens Advisory Committee, we told everyone about tomorrow night's meeting.
yeah, Ms. Engel was working the phones, making sure we were gonna have a quorum, and I know just before we started, that was one of the phone calls that she had taken. So,
We'll do the website, social media, the Shorewood Connect, everything we've got. It'll get out.
so very disappointing, but, so we'll have to move on from that, and maybe we can get it done the 22nd of March. So that's my report, thank you.
No problem, thank you. Trustee Carroll.
Okay.
Trustee Chapman is absent. Trustee Kirkland.
I have nothing.
No problem. Trustee Luciano.
At the Citizens Advisory Committee meeting was last Thursday, and at that meeting, we were advised that the assessed valuation for real estate taxes for next year is starting the process now. Also, we were advised that when you get your assessed valuation, you have 30 days to appeal that. And then there was a couple new laws that the state passed regarding exemptions. The exemption for homestead was raised from $6,000 to $8,000, and the exemption for seniors was raised from $5,000 to $8,000. So I thought it'd be good to mention that
Yeah.
to people and let them know what's happening. But there's a little incentive for everyone on their real estate taxes. And then the only other thing I have is our next meeting's gonna be March 23rd at 7 PM here at the Village Hall. And if anyone's interested in becoming involved with the Citizens Advisory Committee, they can contact myself or any of the members on the website. That's all I have.
Thank you. And Trustee Selfridge.
To the note about putting messages on social media, I just wanted to give kudos. I've seen a lot more village posts lately. I know we added somebody to that
Yep.
department, and I think they're doing a good job. I like to see all the information. You know, I pick and choose what I share to everybody, but I think they're doing a great job. So it's good to see.
Good,
That's
thank
all.
you. And with that, I hate to ruin everybody's evening, but I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Wow, that was quick. I got a motion by trustee Kirkland and a second by trustee Luciano. Roll call, please.
Luciano,
Yes.
Selfridge.
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
And Kirkland.
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned. All right.